Hi guys, who wants to climb Mount Rainier with us? We are currently leaving Paradise. We left Paradise about 10:30, making our way up to Camp Muir. We did snag a permit to camp at Muir for the evening, so we were able to start a little bit later and kind of just take our time getting up to Camp Muir. This is heading up to Panorama Point, which is kind of like the first major incline to get up on the ridge line. Things are melting out up there. So we did get a little bit of dirt trail as well. Tons of people out. We actually ran into some friends here. So we chatted and took a little break, said hi, got some water, filled up. You can see all those little dots on the side there on the snow field. Those are all people climbing. Most of them, actually hard to say. Most of them are probably just day hikers, but there's lots of people camping at Muir and also at Ingraham Flats. This is Jonathan and Andrea plotting their next climb. Here's lunch for the day. Got a solid pickle. If you've never had a pickle on a climb before, I highly recommend it. Salty, juicy, delicious. Snow conditions were not, decent. It is a snow field, so things aren't really solidified, but we weren't post-holing. We didn't need snowshoes. It's just the slog. Here's our first glimpse of the shelters up at Muir Camp. And arriving, you can see them a little bit closer now. They do have pit toilets up there, shelters for people who can, I think, rent them out. We're camping. We're just tent camping. So we're heading over to the tent area now. We do have to kind of dig out a place to put the tent. Jonathan's working on our camp kitchen so that we can start melting snow for water. We are, hydrating this evening. We are trying to keep lots of fluids in. It was very hot out. I know I was feeling it from the heat, and filtering, and then just doing our camp chores. Gonna probably make dinner soon. So like I said, this is the first high camp. Second high camp is Ingraham Flats. That's where this group is headed now. We will make this traverse tomorrow morning in the dark. Ingram's probably about an hour away from Camp Muir. We're all making our dinner. The food actually tasted better than it looked right there.
All of it.
I was a fan of the beef stroganoff.
You're so
however, my stomach was feeling a little unsettled. So Andrea, our pharmacist for the weekend, hooked me up with some Tums and Pepsid. Hygiene is still important on the mountain. Jonathan giving me crap. And then we set up our ropes for the morning. So one less thing we have to do in the morning. Got our gear set up. Did a final bathroom run. Did a quick shot. Hopped into the tent about 7 p.m.
You brat.
Oh man, is this for on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, wake up time. We originally wanted to wake up at 11 and head out about midnight. However, our team member Jonathan did not get a good night's sleep, was feeling super nauseous. I think he had some heat exhaustion from the day before. So he had to make the tough call to not continue on the summit push this morning. So Andrea and I both decided to wait an extra hour. We ended up getting up at midnight and heading out of camp about 1 a.m. There are some teams who had left before us, so I think there is maybe 3 teams who have set out already. You can kind of see them in the distance. Here we are passing our first crevasse. Small guy, small opening, and we are approaching Ingraham Flats. We've already passed one team on the way to get to Ingraham Flats, so now there's only 2 teams in front of us, and all the guide groups were just leaving the flats as we were passing by, so that's them behind us now. On our way through this section, actually another team was down climbing. They had a a team member that had injured their hamstring. So Andrea and I are now the second team in the summit push. Okay, so about here on the mountain, I want to say we're up maybe 13,500, getting close to 14,000 feet. We're getting very close to the crater, the cresting the crater, and then we have to do a long walk across the crater once we get there to get to the true summit, which is right here. So this is the crater walk. We are able to drop our packs and unrope. There's no crevasses in this section, so we do that and we make the walk across. We ended up passing the last team before we got up here, so we have the entire summit to ourselves right now, and we had it for the whole time we were up there. We got there about 5 a.m. and then we left about 5:45 a.m. So for 45 minutes, Andrea and I had the place to ourselves. It was very scenic, but also very cold. All right, we hit the summit, the spot here. We are headed back down. I am so freaking cold, dehydrated, nauseous, fatigued. This is the worst I've ever felt on a climb, but we persevered. We hit the summit. Now we are halfway done. We gotta make it back down, and I'm so excited to go take a nap in the freaking tent. Okay. And the crevasses were awesome. We were the first team to get up here, so we were freaking in the dark the whole time, but on the way down, it'll look really cool. So we re-roped, re-geared up, have our harnesses on, have our packs on, adjusted our layers again, left the summit just before 6 a.m., 5:45-ish, to make our way back down. This is usually the most dangerous part of the climb. Most falls happen on the way down, so we pep talked ourselves, told us to keep clear minds and watch our footing. And we know that we're going to see a ton of teams coming up since we were the first ones, so it's going to make it a little bit longer because we will have to pass each of those teams coming down. These are some of the crevasses that we went through in the dark that we had no idea we were even going past because you can't see them. It's pretty wild experience seeing all these up close. The snow conditions were so good for us. Sure. They were just the perfect consistency, the perfect give, not slushy, not icy. You had great purchase. The path was pretty well established. It was wanded. You can see the wand right there. Wanded by the guide, so the navigation was pretty easy. Honestly, for us doing a two-man group, it was probably the best we could have asked for.
Oh, and then there's Muir.
Here is Cathedral Gap, and we're going to be able to look down onto Muir, which is where we left in the morning.
Jonathan, we're at the top of Cathedral. Give us a little wave. Andrea, how does it feel to summit Rainier?
We did it. Feels so good. Feels amazing.
So good, so bad.
So good, so bad. We're beat up.
Beat up. Oh, nap time.
Please.
After our nap, we packed everything up and we headed out of Muir about 11 a.m. And now we just have to make our way back down to Paradise, get back down to the cars. Paradise, it's Memorial Weekend, so Paradise is very busy right now. We saw lots of people. And what we've really been waiting for the whole time is the celebratory beer.
Cheers.
It was an awesome